Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we are very, very blessed and very fortunate today to have Her Grace Vishnu Priya Mataji with us. It's a special mercy we are receiving today. On behalf of Hare Krishna Temple of Austin, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to you, Mataji, for giving your association today. Here is a brief introduction of Her Grace. Vishnu Priya Mataji is a very elevated devotee and a strong spiritual leader in our.
That's enough.
Just two more lines, then I'll be done. Mataji. Okay, a spiritual leader in our movement. She is good wife of His Holiness Sankarshan Prabhu. She travels with Prabhu all over the world to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya in a very pure form. She is a strong preacher and excellent at nurturing devotees. And another wonderful highlight, and I'm very inspired, is Mataji's enthusiasm in serving her beloved deities, Shri Radha Damodar, most merciful deities. And she is the source of spiritual strength. So with that, we are truly blessed. Let us welcome Her Grace Vishnu Priya Mataji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra one time together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama
Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Vishnu Priya Mataji.
Satyasar Prabhu, who has invited me, this frog out of the well. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So we're gonna talk. Satyasar Prabhu has suggested that we should speak on 15:15. 15:15 Bhagavad Gita as it is, 15, chapter 15, verse 15.
15, 16.
15:15.
16, 16.
15:15.
15, 15. Okay.
Okay. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Satyasar Prabhu, we do normal Bhagavad Gita, like everybody will get an opportunity. Some of them will get opportunity to chant. So from your
Yes.
side, if anybody wants to chant, they will be welcome.
Sure, Mataji, sure.
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto.
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto.
Mata smritir gnanam apohanam cha.
Mata smritir gnanam apohanam cha.
Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo.
Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo.
Vedanta krid veda videva chaham.
Vedanta krid veda videva chaham.
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto.
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto.
Mata smritir gnanam apohanam cha.
Mata smritir gnanam apohanam cha.
Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo.
Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo.
Vedanta krid veda videva chaham.
Vedanta Krita Chaham.
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto.
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto.
Mata smritir gnanam apohanam cha.
Mata smritir gnanam apohanam cha.
Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo.
Vedasya sarvairahameva vidyo.
Vedanta krid veda videva chaham.
Vedanta krid veda videva chaham.
Devotees, anyone would like to recite? Please unmute and recite.
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto.
Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto.
Matta smritir gnanam apohanam cha.
Mata smritir gnanam apohanam cha.
Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo.
Vedaischa
Sarvairahameva vedyo.
Vedanta krit veda videva chaham.
Vedanta krid veda videva chaham.
Chaham.
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
मतः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च
स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च
वेदेश सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो
वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो
वेदान्तकृत वेद विदेव चाहम्
वेदान्तकृत वेदविदेव चाहम्
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
मतः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानम् अपोहनं च
मतः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च
वेदस्य सर्वरहमेव वेद्यो
वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो
वेदान्तकृद्देव चाहम्
वेदान्तकृत वेद विदेव चाहम्
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
तत्मते ज्ञानमपोहनं च
मतः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च
वेदांश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो
वेदान्तकृत सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो
वेदान्तकृत वेदविदेव चाहम्
वेदान्तकृत वेदविदेव चाहम्
No, that's all.
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत वेदविदेह चाहम्
Vedantakrit veda videva चाहम्. Anybody else?
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च
मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च
वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो
वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो
वेदान्तकृत वेदविदेव चाहम्
वेदान्तकृत वेदविदेह चाहम्
Any Matajis? Manjula.
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव
वेद्यो
वेदान्तकृत वेदविदेह चाहम्
Okay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada
Ki
Ki.
jai.
I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Purport. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and it is from Him that all activities are initiated. The living entity forgets everything of his past life, but he has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord, who is witness to all his work. Therefore, he begins his work according to his past deeds. Required knowledge is supplied to him, and remembrance is given to him, and he forgets also about his past life. Thus, the Lord is not only all-pervading, he is also localized in every individual heart. He awards the different fruitive results. He is worshipable not only as the impersonal Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. The Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead, back to home. The Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And Krishna, in his incarnation as Vyasadeva, is the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. The commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva is the Srimad Bhagavatam, gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. The Supreme Lord is so full that for the deliverance of the conditioned soul, he is the supplier and digester of food stuff and witness of all of his activity, and the giver of knowledge in the form of Vedas as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the teacher of the Bhagavad Gita. He is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Thus, God is all good. God is all merciful. So we'll see. We can talk a little bit on this paragraph and then we will go. Otherwise, I'll forget. My memory is of Kali Yuga. So I can immediately forget what to talk about, what happened yesterday or this time, but I will forget even what I read here now. So I will try to see what I can talk about this. So here is the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Krishna mentions here, that he is the compiler, he is the knower of the Vedas. And he is saying that he knows everything. He gives them remembrance and knowledge and forgetfulness also. So what we are doing, why we don't remember what we did in the past life? Always sometimes there is a question that why good people have the bad things happening to them. So because we have forgotten past life, and it's a mercy of Krishna. Otherwise we won't, if we remember past time or if we remember what we gone through this lifetime, we will not be able to cope with it, and we will have a past traumatic syndrome, just like we had it in the 911, the traumatic situation of many people has lost their brains even and is still feeling the same traumatic situation. So if we were to know only in the womb of the mother how much suffering was there, we think it is very nice to have the birth, but to remember that how we are packed up in the womb of the mother, it will be more difficult to live in this material world. Does anybody know? Huh? Do you know? You are a little girl. Do you? You come from the womb of the mother. Do you know what was it in there? Huh? What she say?
Very tight.
Very tight, but what? You are upside down. You can't breathe. And if I had to put you take a plastic bag like that womb of the mother and put you upside down and tie the bag up with a little hole to breathe, would you like that? So that's how it is in the womb of the mothers. But Krishna is very kind, make us forget so that we can think, oh, this life is very nice. And when we get sick, then we will say, why this happened? I'm suffering. And then when we get better, then we will think again, oh, this is very nice. I should make this arrangement properly. I can go to see the doctor or I can get the vaccine. I will be all right. No, I won't get the COVID. I'll get the flu shot. I will not get the flu. But it comes. Because everything comes according to what Krishna wants it. So, but he does not want us to suffer. And that's why he gave us the knowledge. That's called the Vedas or Vedantas. But in a very small or precise form, Krishna is giving Bhagavad Gita, which he gives direct instruction that how we can live in this material world so that we don't have to suffer now and go up and down. Sometimes it's like dunking a stool. But previously, when people were being punished, They won't put them in the prison. They will come, take them on the boat and tie their hands and legs and whatever and dunk them in the water. And the person is suffering, then they'll pull him out. And he thinks, oh, this is very nice. And then they will, when he starts feeling very nice, then he's dunked into the water again, deep into the water. So he's suffering again. So this material world is like that. We are being punished. We think we are enjoyers, but actually we are being punished. And this is another way sense. It is called prison house, or it is called Durga. We worship Durga. Huh? That's very nice. She's the warden of this prison house, material world, so-called, where we want to enjoy. Many people worship Durga. And in this sense, what Prabhupada says, why we worship Durga? Because she can give us a better place. They think that Durga Devi will give us the better place. And Prabhupada compares this to a prisoner who bribes the warden. He may be given a little good position of typing something or working in the office. In the prison house, they do allow these things. Otherwise, others have to go and do the hard labor or sit in their cell. But by worshipping the warden of the prison, they get little better facility. So this is what happened. But they don't get a permanent happiness. They never get a permanent happiness. Because only by worshipping Krishna and taking the instructions of Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita, as he says, one is ought to know what is right and one is ought to know what is wrong. And one should perform those duties, and that way one can get out of the cycle of birth and death. So this is the message of Krishna. They say, what is liberation? What is binding? We have to know. Everything what we do, every action we do without Krishna consciousness is binding. That's what we have to know. Even if you don't want to suffer in this material world, or if you want a good position, it is binding. Further reaction and preparing our next life. This is very important that everyone, we should act in a way that gradually it will take us out of this bondage of life after life, going through the cycle of birth and death, sometimes happy, sometimes miserable, sometimes joyful, and sometimes whatever you want to say, sometimes lamenting, sometimes desiring. But there is no freedom in this world. You will be forced to live what you have it. Everything is forced upon us. We think we are independent, but we are not. We think that I can do the job. And sometimes we think that, yes, because I'm doing my job, I'm happy. But that job can also go away one day. That's why we all work like dogs in the company, so that we won't lose it. As soon as I become little relaxed, I want to, there's a little short after, they'll say, we have to release some of the people, the good words, pacifying words, we have to release you all. Right? So there is no guarantee in this material world that we are happy. We think we are happy. It's illusion, it's a mental concoction. So unless we come to understand that I am not this body, and Krishna is as Paramatma guiding me, according to my past life, as in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says, Yastva Indra Gopam Atavendra Ahosva Karma Bandhanurupa Palabhajana Matanoti Karmani Nidahati Kintu Chapakti Bhajam Govinda Madhikusham Tamaham Bhajami. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who burns up to the roots. Now listen, who burns up to the roots those who are imbued with devotion. Imbued with devotion, and impartially ordains each and everyone the due enjoyment of their past karma. Whether it is Indra Gopa or whether it's Indra Dev, they all go through this. And we are under this, when we are in this material, we are under the stringent laws of material nature. Because we are covered by this, we are contaminated by this world. So we have to take this body again and again according to karma. So we cannot stop karma. We cannot stop karma. We cannot stop karma. Every living entity by nature is very active. If not with physical body, then mentally everybody is active. And don't think that mental activities we don't get the karma. Maybe in Kali Yuga it may not get it. But what happens when we are start contemplating on the mind, it will start becoming manifest. And then we will get into action. So that's why Krishna also says, do not contemplate your desires in the mind. So we have to engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness. And this is the knowledge Krishna is giving us in the Bhagavad Gita as it is. We can interpret to our suiting, but that will not work. We cannot interpret the words of the Lord. And even if you think that you can, you will not get the same result. You will not get the same result. So it would be useless waste of time to speculate and give your own interpretations. So take it as it is. Okay. Any questions so far? Yes, Chakravarti.
In the first couple of lines, it says everything happens under the direction of the Lord.
Yes.
Which makes sense. But then where does that stop for us jivas to exercise our own independence?
Exercise your independence only when you are interacting with the Lord. Interacting with the Lord. And follow under His directions. Then only. Otherwise, there is no way. Prabhupada gives this example as this, that when a person is working in a government or hospital, they have gotten some kind of freedom to, in emergency, they can run a fire brigade or whatever, they can run the red light, but an ordinary citizen goes in, they will be immediately cited.
So if they're following the rules, which is the
Yes.
devotional service, then he gives the freedom.
Yes, that's why the devotional service is very important. As much as one whatever he does in devotion is, they don't get the reaction. They don't get the reaction. Otherwise, even breathing is a reaction. How are you going to avoid? There is nothing you can avoid. Breathing is, also you can get the reaction because you are breathing the air which Vayu Dev gives you. You are not the enjoyer. So if you try to enjoy that breathing, you get the reaction. Vayu is one thing, and you breathe with that air so many creatures also. So that also killing is there. And then also when one eats the food, which is not offered to Krishna, all our senses demand something. Ears want to hear something. So ears does not hear the devotional songs or Krishna consciousness, then or garbage will be hearing. So that is also reaction. Eyes want to see something, some movie or something. If they don't see the Krishna's form and all those junk we see, billboards, we get the reaction. There is no freedom here. We get reaction for everything. So unless we take to Krishna consciousness, we're not going to be free of the reactions. One has to be very, very serious. And by seeing and acting in Krishna consciousness, whatever we offer it to Krishna in His service, then everything, all the material things that we take, we offer it in service of Krishna, then we can become free. Otherwise, we are implicated by thieves.
There's nothing like neutral. It's either you are Krishna conscious or not.
Yes, nothing is neutral. Only when you are Krishna conscious, then you become free from, even though you're using everything you're using in service, you may be doing all your activities, the result has to be offered to Krishna. Result is Krishna's, not ours to enjoy. But we can enjoy by Krishna's permission, the way he tells in Bhagavad Gita.
Because even if someone is following the devotional life, they walk outside, they see the billboard, there's always something that they're
Yes.
doing which is.
So that's why we have to be thinking about Krishna all the time. If you want to get out, if you don't want to, it's okay. If you want to get out of the repeated birth and death.
But we may also interpret it slightly differently. In other words, since I'm striving to be devotional and someday get there, but Krishna also says just listen to him or follow him, surrender to him, then he will give the benediction.
You are surrendering. If you just follow Bhagavad Gita, you are already surrendered. Follow Bhagavad Gita.
Right, surrender 24/7 is surrender, but if it's not 24/7, it's not full surrender, right?
Yes.
Then
But he is very kind. He can forgive. But we have to have not that, don't try to cheat. Krishna is a bigger cheater. He knows what we are doing. Are we real, or you can say just making it up? Fake. Imitation. Fake. He is very good. He knows how to handle us. So Satya Prabhu, if they have any question, anybody?
Sure, Mataji. Hare Krishna devotees, if any questions so far, please feel free to unmute and ask.
Also on the internet, start meeting. If you all have any question, please write it down or mute everybody. Unmute everybody. So
all participants are muted and they can unmute themselves.
No questions, Mataji, so far.
Okay. Anybody here? Any more question? You understood everything. Yeah, you're gonna become serious. You sure? Okay. Okay, so we'll go to the next paragraph. Anta pravista sastra jananam anta pravista sastra jananam. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body, but he begins his work again, initiated by the Supreme Lord. So it is mentioned here that how the living entity separated from the Supreme Lord, he forgets him, but the Lord does not forget. When we quit the present body, we forget everything, what we did in our life. And this life also, what we are doing, we will forget. But whatever we did, we are going to get the result in the next life. If we are not fully Krishna conscious and we are not getting out of cycle of birth and death, we're going to get the result of whatever good we did, we'll get that result. Whatever bad we did, that we're going to result. But we will, right now, we will forget about that what we did. But the Lord is sitting within the heart, so He remembers everything. And so at the time of leaving the body, if we didn't remember Krishna, and whatever we were remembering or whatever our activities, according to that, we might get a body in 8,400,000 species. And the Supreme Lord will be guiding there also. Even He is within even the insects and guiding them also how they can get eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Everybody gets it. But human form is special that we get this knowledge also. This is a bonus for the human being. The Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is a Veda personified also, which other living entity doesn't have opportunity to study and learn and remember Supreme Personality. But one thing about them is much better than a human also. They live by the nature's ways, so they do not commit any karmic reactions, karmas. Whereas the human being, if they are not Krishna conscious, they create a lot of karma. But yet Krishna is very, very kind to give us and come in the form of Vedas and instructions and guidance for us to elevate ourselves instead of remaining in this material world, in the stringent laws of three modes of material nature. So, although he forgets, the Lord gives him intelligence to renew his work and where he ended his last life. So, not only does a living entity enjoy or suffer in this world, according to the dictation of the Supreme Lord, situated locally in the heart, but he receives the opportunity to understand the Vedas from him. If one is serious about understanding the Vedic knowledge, then Krishna gives the required intelligence. Why does he present the Vedic knowledge for understanding? Because a living entity individually needs to understand Krishna. Vedic literature confirms this. Yosav sarver veder gyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from the four Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, and the Upanishads and Puranas, the glories of the Supreme Lord are celebrated by performance of Vedic rituals, discussion of the Vedic philosophy, and this is how we can engage ourselves in service of Krishna. Discuss of the Vedic philosophy and worship of the Lord in devotional service, he is attained. Devotional service, he is attained. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is attained. This is what we are meant to do. Therefore, the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. The Vedas give us direction by which to understand Krishna, the process of realizing him. And ultimate goal is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vedanta Sutra 114 Janmadhyasya, who confirms this in the following words: Tattu samanvayat, Tattu samanvayat. One can attain perfection in three stages. By understanding Vedic literature, one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By performing the different processes, one can approach him, and at the end, one can attain the supreme goal, who is no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, the purpose of the Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas, the goal of the Vedas are clearly defined. So does that mean we're going to go and take the big four Chatur Veda and become a Chatur Vedis? Huh? Because Chatur Vedis is going to become a Chatur Vedi.
It's hard enough to understand Bhagavad Gita and four Vedas.
So that's why we take the simplest one. Krishna's instructions in the direct instructions to Arjuna tells us also, these are the instructions for us also. But there is one difficulty is there. Krishna says, if you are envious, if your senses are not controlled, this message cannot penetrate you. So what to talk about the big four Vedas, Chaturvedis. So let us try to hear and learn that every activities if we do in Krishna consciousness, then all this message will be awakening within our hearts without interpretation. Or say half in logic also, no half in logic. I like this, I will take this, and other thing is very difficult, so I'll cut it off. So don't use the half and logic. Take it as it is. Okay? Any question? No.
Question. Why is it so hard to control our senses?
Because that's why we are here. Yeah. It's not easy, hard to control. If you want to control, it's very easy. Why you think it is hard? Animals can control their senses according to the nature's law. Why human being cannot? Answer.
These cow-das. The senses say, give me this. They say, okay. Give me that. Okay. Give me. Okay. We just got to serve our senses. That's our
No,
position.
that is one thing. It's the only thing because why we are not able to control ourselves. Envy, lust, anger, greed, lust and anger. That's why we cannot control. If we don't have that, we see the neighbor has something, we are envious. So I have to have that. So if we say that somebody has something better, I am also greedy. Why they are have it and I don't have so much money, so I want to do that. That's why we cannot control senses. Lust, anger, and greed.
Even animals, I've seen this in birds, they are also envious. But our envy is higher, can we say that?
Human being is supposed to control all these things. Animals have a natural tendency. They don't get the karma for being envious or being quarreling or whatever. They are acting according to their nature. But human being has to control these things, otherwise they get the reactions. Human form is responsible form. We cannot do what we would like to do, what we feel like it is good for me. If you want to do, you can, but have Lord Krishna in there. Questions are there?
Well, there is one question here.
Okay.
I'll read it out for you. The question is from Rani Mataji.
Okay.
How do we understand the current COVID crisis, wherein every one of us have lost our loved ones? Is this their own karma in action? Questions arise as to where is God during this crisis. Also, is there something called collective karma?
Yes, it is connected with all our sinful actions, karma. We forget what we are doing. We do not engage ourselves in the devotional service. We do there is, you can say, oh, I am in Krishna conscious, so why it happens? No, it happens because we've forgotten what we did in the past life. We forget our past life, but we have to take it. When we are in the material world, whatever is coming, we have to take it. But all we can do is improve these things. That's how we can do it. Becoming Krishna conscious, we can improve ourselves. And when we have to go so far that at the time of death, we can just remember Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. And then we can become free from all these anomalies that is in the material world.
Okay.
Does that satisfy that, Mataji?
Yeah. Rani Mataji, please unmute and.
Are you satisfied, Mataji?
Rani Mataji, are you able to hear us?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
So, what I'm understanding from doing.
We are not able to hear you, Rani Mataji. You can maybe type it. I'll read it.
I can read it also because Abhacharan Prabhu has put it on.
Okay. Please type it, Rani Mataji. So, Gurumata, while she's typing, there is one question from WhatsApp. Somebody asked. I'm going to read it out for you. Is it okay?
Okay.
So the question is, does Paramatma have any function in the spiritual world when the living entity gets to the spiritual world through bhakti?
Of course, Paramatma is in his full-fledged form, Shri Krishna. And you have a good interaction with him. Full-fledged form, Lord Shri Krishna in his divine form. Paramatma is here because we cannot see Krishna, and therefore Lord Krishna expand himself in Paramatma form to guide us. But there in the spiritual world, you are already with the Supreme Paramatma, with his full-fledged form, Krishna. Yes, so what I understand, this is Rani Mataji. So what I am understanding is that they losing their lives in their own doings. Is that correct? Yes, everybody has to live according to the arrangement the Lord has made. Lord Paramatma has made that arrangement. Either even the devotee leaves the body, he remembers Krishna and go back home. And those who are in the karmic world, they have live according to their karmic reactions also, and they have not improved their life in this life, they have to come back also. So that is the advantage of devotee can live in any situation, any way, but they can remember Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. They don't have to come back, but the result of persons who are in karma or karmic actions, they have to come back again to suffer the whatever they are missing, or to enjoy what they have not enjoyed from the past actions. Is that all right, Rani Mataji?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Yeah, it's understood, or do you need more explanation?
It's difficult to explain to the loved ones who lost their loved ones that it was their own doing, like it was their own karma.
They won't accept it. They won't accept it. Whether they accept it or not, that's the nature's way. People don't want to accept, and when that is the reason they cannot take up Krishna consciousness. That is their foolishness.
Mataji, is there something called collective karma?
Collective karma is always there, and we are also one of them. But we can, if everybody start chanting, if everybody and those who are chanting and everybody chants, we can all get rid of all the karmas. But the unfortunate situation is that nobody is able to. Very 99.9% people are very sinful and do not following the Vedic literatures. Even in say that Christianity, people are all sinful. Even in the name of Bible, they are sinful. So in the Vedas also, there are some people are doing sinful activities, interpreting the Vedas for their suiting, and they create more. The person who takes the knowledge and do the sinful activities, they are worse. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Clara. Can you hear?
Seeing a supper here. Huh? Is Krishna sad seeing us suffer here?
Oh yes, he's very sad. And that's why he gives us this knowledge. Come back to me, but I have my ears closed tightly. I can't hear and I don't act. Krishna is hearing and he doesn't. Yes, 5 minutes. I have it here. Yeah, I have it here. Because in 5 minutes, if everybody has a question, Otherwise, 5 minutes later, we have a arti.
Guru Mata, there is one question actually.
Yes,
you want me to read it or you can read it?
Prashanta.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji, my question was.
Yes, I can read it here. I can read it because your voice is a little muffled. We are so conditioned that we go through each day just engaging our senses in work and maintenance. I am in the beginning of the process. I can't chant, and so I can chant, and some parts of my day are centered. You can read it for me. Centered
around Krishna.
Around Krishna, but still, majority of the day of my day is engaged in reactions and association with non-devotees. How do we seriously remember Krishna throughout the whole day? It's very simple. We have to have little faith. First faith is this: we have to awaken ourselves that it's not my work that is maintaining me. It's by Krishna's grace I have got this work so that I can engage the result in his service. It is by his mercy I've got this job, and the result should be engaged in the service of Krishna. This way you will be able to remember. But the work itself is not maintaining you. Krishna is maintaining you. Krishna is maintaining unlimited living entity in the form of animals and so many creatures. So he is maintaining us. But in this human form, we are forgetting that Krishna is the maintainer, not my job. Today you have your job, tomorrow you may not have your job. But understand that Krishna is the one who has guided me to this job, and he has facilitated me with this job. I must engage in his service. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, yes, Mataji, that makes sense. Yes. Yeah.
Because Krishna, even though we have the job, we get the money. The thing is that money we cannot eat. We have to go to the grocery store and get the vegetable. Where are the vegetables coming? This is how we can understand. Where are the vegetables coming? As Krishna says, if there is no sunlight, we cannot get. Where is there no rain? There is no vegetation. There is no air to breathe. There is no vegetation. So without these things, we cannot live. And it is all coming from Krishna. Nobody can invent these things. Nobody can invent these things. So we have to understand our job is not maintaining us, but by Krishna's mercy, because I desire this. So Krishna has engaged me in this service. Now let me take this result and offer in his service. Okay? Now it is time for 2 minutes or 1 minute to Bhagavad Gita, to Radha Damodar's Arti.
So Mataji, can you please, can we have your darshan for a minute and we'll do a quick thank you?
Darshan, I will give you Radha Damodar darshan, okay?
We need both actually, yes, Guru Mata.
Radha Damodar darshan.
Okay.
Okay. Radha Damodar darshan.
We are going to give a thank you note for you.
You can say thank you to Krishna.
Okay. Pushpanjali Mataji, can you please unmute and quickly?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna all devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today we want to thank Radha Damodar he enabled that, you spoke to us about Krishna Katha, 15.15 verse. You mentioned the nature of the material world and, how stringent the laws are and how we are suffering here and everything we do binds us. And you reminded us that the way out of this is for us to remember Krishna, take Krishna's teaching. And Krishna, many times you mentioned that Krishna does not want us to suffer here. So he keeps giving us this knowledge. He's there within us. He's guiding us. He, helps us remember. So we should, look to Krishna and turn towards Krishna. And when we offer the results to Krishna, when we remember Krishna, and we do everything for him, then that is devotional service, and that is not binding. So that is how you showed us the way that, we can get out of this world of suffering and, go to Krishna, because Krishna loves us and he does not want us to suffer. And since you have Aarti, I don't want to take a lot of time. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. And thank you for all hearing and inquiring. I hope you benefited from the strokes from the well.
Yes, Guru Mata, it will be complete when you show your face, and so we all can have that.
Not my face.
Okay.
Not my face. If you see Krishna's face, that's what we talk. We have to see Krishna.
Okay, Guru Mata. No problem. We'll see Radha Damodar.
Okay. You will see Radha Damodar, then Radha Damodar will make arrangements. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Satyasar,
for your mercy. Thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, she has a question. Do it fast. Aarti time.
So if Krishna is always telling us to come back to him, why does he even send us to this?
Because you wanted, you did sinful action. That's why you are here. Now you stop doing all the sinful action and become Krishna devotee, so you can go back easily. Huh? That's why we want you to become a devotee. Do everything in devotional service. Now your parents are devotees, it becomes easy for you, right? When you go to school, don't become like them, because you will have a lot of demons there. Be aware of it. Okay? We can talk more. Let us see Radha Damodar. Yeah. Except the charger. This one also, there are many devotees here. I didn't check their questions. I need to get the battery charger. Need to get the battery charger from my room.
Hare Krishna devotees, we are going to see Radha Damodar darshan now.
Yes, yeah, the background is coming.
I have to get the charger for iPad. Good background, okay?
Abhishek Prabhu, we are seeing the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I go there? Your background settings. Oh, the other way then.
Because of the background.
Background.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
Let's see if I can learn. See if I can figure
Oh,
it out.
then I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I had it set up.
You just couldn't.
No, there we go. That's got it.
Yes, now we are able to see. Thank you very much.
Ah.
Nice to see you, Gurudev. Nice to see you.
Hare Krishna, Satyasar. Nice to see you also.
Hare Krishna.
Leading this kirtan.
Vacharan Kirtan.
Yes, Vishnu Vedanta Swaminiti Namine.
Devotee, that is Radha Damodar deities. You can see on the altar. So very, very powerful and very merciful deities.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashadadeshatarine.
Ask him if they're gonna stay or they're gonna go.
They're leaving Mataji. Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Abhishek Prabhu. Thank you. Very, very nice darshan. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Shri.
Hare Krishna devotees. It was a wonderful class by Grace Vishnu Priya Mataji. And we also had a beautiful darshan of Radha Damodar. So it's a very lucky day for all of us. So with